everyone, this is William from the Godzilla Files, and today we're going to talk about King Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster. He's considered one of the most popular enemies of Godzilla and has appeared throughout the whole entire series in one way or another. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Let's get started. First thing I'd like to talk about is King Ghidorah's powers. Throughout the series, he's had some consistent powers, and one of his most famous would be the ability to fire a yellow lightning bolt from its mouth. Now, each of his three heads can fire their own bolt, and is powerful enough to destroy buildings and knock back monsters. Even Godzilla, when fired at, has to take a few steps back. He also can create hurricane force winds from his wings. So flying over cities, he can destroy them even without firing his lightning bolt. And finally, his durability. He seemed to be able to take a lot of damage. Throughout most of the films, he's usually being taken out by multiple enemies. So the fact that he can withstand most attacks and fly away to safety is pretty astounding. He is known to be able to take a direct hit from Godzilla, and it's not until he's being teamed up by 10 or so that he's even taken down. So it's pretty impressive overall with him. But throughout most of the series, these are kind of his mainstay powers. If you go out of the Godzilla series, some things do change, but I'm not going to talk about that too much just because I want to keep it here in the Godzilla series. For his history, I will be breaking this up into three parts, the first part being the SHOWA series. This part of the of King Ghidorah's timeline is considered the most famous and most beloved by fans of the series. In this series, we find King Ghidorah as an evil space monster coming down to Earth. It's also one of the few times where we do get a little backstory on King Ghidorah. While we do know he is evil and does destroy planets for unknown reasons, it's never really talked about until the first movie, King Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster. We find out he has destroyed Venus and or Mars, depending on which version you're watching. While no reason's ever given, it's mostly just stated because he is evil. Now, unfortunately, throughout the rest of the series, we do not get any more backstory of King Ghidorah. He's usually being controlled by some space alien to help destroy the world. While this is unfortunate because it would be cool to kind of learn more about this monster, he does team up with the likes of Gigan, and at one point is even under the control along with Godzilla and Rodan, and they go about destroying some of the cities in Japan. For the most part, he is considered Godzilla's arch enemy throughout the whole entire series. He does appear the most in the SHOWA series with a grand total of 4 appearances. While destroying monsters, we do see him die, and in Godzilla vs. Gigan, which is after destroying monsters, he is alive. We find out that in the whole continuity of the thing, Destroy Monsters is the last film in the Showa series. Interesting note is that he is finally defeated by Godzilla only after Godzilla teams up with about 10 other monsters. Still considered one of the most popular enemies of Godzilla, usually ranks up very high on the list. The next time we see King Ghidorah is in the HEISEI series. He's in one film in this series, which is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. In this film, we find that his history has changed dramatically. He's no longer the monster from space. He's actually a creature created by the people from the future. He doesn't even start off as King Ghidorah in the film. He's first seen as 3 little Dorats, which are left on the same island that Godzilla was supposed to be on, that was tested with nuclear weapons. So because of the nuclear weapons, they have formed King Ghidorah. While, once again, he kind of resembles himself, nothing has changed here appearance-wise. The only thing that really has changed is that he's bigger. Has been created by an atomic weapon. The other thing that's different about this version of King Ghidorah is that at one point he does become a good guy. This is something that many fans do like, Mecha King Ghidorah. in the movie he's defeated by Godzilla, and then later on people from the future go back and bring his body back, but this time it is a mechanical version of King Ghidorah, which is pretty cool looking. Still has the same abilities and everything like that. He does finally defeat Godzilla, which is one of the few times that we do see, but the victory is short-lived when we see that Godzilla is risen again. The final time we see King Ghidorah is in the Millennium series. Now this is the most controversial time for King Ghidorah. During this series we find that we first see King Ghidorah as an actual hero, which has never happened before, not a full-on hero. He is considered a guardian of Japan in GMK. He fights Godzilla, but is doing it to protect the people of Japan. And this is very unusual. Many fans have different opinions on this. I, for one, am not the biggest fan of this. I do think it's a great movie, but I do feel that he was added in for name value. You know, there was some behind-the-scenes things that Toho wanted to change, and I just think that it doesn't work the way they thought it would. Overall, though, you know, the movie itself is very good, but this is definitely one of the most controversial moments for King Ghidorah in the series. The next time we see King Ghidorah in the Millennium series is in the Godzilla film Final Wars. In this film, he is back to his original form in the sense that he is a monster from space. But we also find out that in this movie, he has two forms. The first form is almost like a humanoid form, where he has arms, legs, tail, and different things like that. While it is a cool design, this is the first time we ever see King Ghidorah with a first form. And it isn't until he transforms that he does become a normal looking King Ghidorah. There are some changes, one of them being that he has 4 legs, so he almost looks like a horse with 3 dragon heads and wings. While he is massive, he doesn't move as much, and because of that he's able to use, and this is the only time you see it, his electric beams as ways to kind of grab onto Godzilla and throw him around. So it is definitely very different for King Ghidorah. The Millennium series is very different overall. So this does fit in the series, but it still does not work, in my opinion, overall for King Ghidorah. The other thing I want to talk about is the future of King Ghidorah and some of the things that I would like to see in the future with him. First, we all do understand that Godzilla 2014 was a very big hit, and they are working on a sequel which supposedly will have Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. So that might be the next time we actually see King Ghidorah in a Godzilla film. Now, my personal feeling on this is that it will be very cool to see. I'm going to wait until we finally start seeing trailers and different things about it, because while I do like Godzilla 2014, I do think there are some issues, and hopefully adding these new monsters will actually kind of fix a lot of the problems that we had in the first one. Also, I would like to see a little bit more about King Ghidorah's past. You know, I think the idea that what we got from Ghidorah, the three-head space monster, where they say that he destroyed Venus or Mars, I think that would actually make a really good movie itself. You know, being able to see him coming to that planet, destroying the city, and maybe being trapped in the meteorite that lands on Earth. So I think that would kind of be a cool idea, and hopefully maybe Toho will actually work on that. I don't see him appearing in a Shin Godzilla film. I don't think they're going to be making any more Shin Godzilla films, even though that was a big hit. Shin Godzilla just doesn't work with another kaiju like that. So, you know, hopefully we'll get to see more. Thank you for watching, and look out for my next video. It's going to be a review of Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster, and I'm going to have my girlfriend sit down and watch it with me. She doesn't really like Godzilla films, so I'm kind of excited to see what she thinks of it. And we'll go from there. All right, look forward to seeing everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.